Hey, Ton, ¿cómo estás?
Hello, how are you?
Yes, Ton has
Oh, oh, she's pretty.
Hi, Indy.
she is pretty. She is. Ton, say
Yeah, she has that glow. Like, do you have on makeup? Your face look really good.
No,
Great.
no, I haven't really been wearing makeup at home.
Oh, wow. So no lipstick, no nothing?
Yeah, me either. All I wear is mascara.
Absolutely.
Well, not even mascara, nothing.
What? You have nice skin. That's good.
I did have a face mask yesterday.
look at that. You see that, Annie?
She has a glow.
Look, Ton is letting us see her face. Hey, Indy.
I know, Vivian.
There's some insecurities in this chat.
Okay.
I know.
Right.
What's going on? People sitting in the dark and stuff.
I really miss y'all. Like, for real.
I don't know who that is.
So-
I miss you too, though. Okay, so, I've been saying this all week. I'm going to continue to say it. We're going to make sure that we are respectful of Ton's time because Ton has given us some time out of her very, very busy day. And so I know some other people are going to be jumping on throughout this call, but we're going to go ahead and get started with the 17 people that are on the line right now. And so this is Miss Ton Nguyen. Ton is former valedictorian from Jonesboro High School. I wore my Jonesboro shirt today for Ton. Boom, 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 boom. Cardinal parent, sort of. And she actually started at Morrow High School, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were at Morrow for a while, right, Ton?
And
then you transferred to Jonesboro. And then and Ton had, and I always say this about Ton because it was so amazing to me. Ton had one of the most amazing senior years of anybody I've ever worked with because like every time I saw her during senior year, I was like, hey, Ton, you gonna come to tutoring anytime soon? And every time I saw Ton during her senior year, Ton would say, well, UCLA just sent me a plane ticket, so I'm going to UCLA next week, and I have to go to, Harvard one week, and then I'm flying to Boston because they gave me a plane ticket and they want me to come see their school. And like every time I talked to her, I was like, wait, how you keep getting flued out? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And so, I'm sure Ton will talk about some of her experience in high school and during her college time. And so, Ton, without further ado, you can kind of take it away. You can tell them about yourself and some of your journey. And then we got a pretty good group and a pretty curious group. So I'm sure they'll have some questions for you as we continue. So, guys, some of y'all, this is the first time y'all have been on a Skype call with us. So, if you got a lot of stuff going on in your house, mute yourself. If you have a question, you can absolutely unmute yourself and ask it. If not, if you want to just type it in the chat, you can also type it in the chat and we'll see it and we'll read it and we'll make sure that we get it addressed. So there you are, Ton.
Yeah, Mr. Kenny always hypes me up, and sometimes like he's not even right. Like he be gassing me up, and it's not even correct. But I like appreciate it. I really appreciate Mr. Kenny. Like I think he's like one of the most supportive people. Like not even like in just in high school, but even today, like he's really supportive. So y'all better like take advantage of people like him. But yeah, I think it started. I like he said, like I went to Morrow first 2 years. Then I had to move to Jonesboro. Let's see how to begin. Graduated is not important, but something that I like to tell people is just like in general, like I know it feels like rankings really matter when you're in high school, but it really does not matter like in the long term. So just like strive for like the best you can, but also like take that with a grain of salt. So senior year, I was like very committed to, getting scholarships, and I personally knew like I didn't want to stay in Georgia. So I was planning on applying to like a lot of different like out of state schools. So I was really, really lucky to receive over $40,000 in scholarships. Otherwise, like college for me wouldn't have been like a feasible option. And I applied to a lot of schools. I'm currently attending the University of Pennsylvania, but I was also accepted into Columbia University, Emory, UGA, Georgia State, like other colleges like UCLA, UVA. So I definitely knew, like for me, like I definitely knew I wanted to go out of state. It was just like a matter of like where And I remember like senior year, I was always applying for like flying programs because I never got to see like the role models or like get the opportunities to visit the schools that I was interested in. So a lot of these schools like actually have like a lot of good programs in place to help like low income students like get to where they need to be, because they really do want to try to get more diverse students. So yeah, I think that a lot of my scholarship programs like Westbridge, Horatio Alger, really changed my life because it introduced me to people that were really inspirational and like were always willing to help me and support me. And I also like consider like being an Upward Bound scholar like something I'm really, really proud of, because like in high school, it was like a really supportive program. And it was always like a place where I could feel like you like unwind or like talk to someone who like I knew like genuinely cared about me, and more than just like, you know, what's your grades, or, you know, like it's actually like what's going on in your life, like how is it affecting your schoolwork. So I think like I literally never went to tutoring. Well, when I went to like Upper Bound, I remember I never went to tutoring. I just like I just went to like go and like have snacks, have good conversations, like talk to people. Like I think like that was like what I got most out of Upper Bound, because in school people weren't willing to talk about like difficult issues, you know, like I was like during my time, it was like the time of like Trayvon Martin and like, you know, like a lot of like news going on. Like I feel like Upper Bound was a place like people were talking about like these important issues. But yeah, so I eventually chose to go to the University of Pennsylvania. Ever since then, like I've always taken it upon myself to like explore, you know, things that I never got to when I was just like in Clayton County. You know, like there's not much to do sometimes. But I was always like prioritizing like giving back to the community, because for me, like I am really like upset by like the inequalities in the world. Like going to an Ivy League institution means like I don't get to see like a lot of diverse people, you know, like a lot of these people going to these really elite schools like were just bred to go to it, you know, like they like went to private school, they like always had their like support from their family, they never had to worry about like things that I know like myself or like a lot of people in Upward Bound like have to worry about, whether that be like, you know, like money or like internet issues or like getting the access to like SAT, ACT books. Like some of these kids have been learning like what SAT was like since middle school. And for me, like I didn't even think about it until I was like a junior, like sophomore in college. So I always knew that I wanted to go to college, but I'm also like a very strong advocate. Like you don't have to like go to college if you know, like, you know, that's not your path. But I think everyone deserves like the right and opportunity to get to where they want to be. So I think like that's like why like in college I've still been involved in like mentorship programs where I can like help mentor you know, like freshmen, or like help, I've even like helped people like write college essays to like try to get into college, or like help tutoring. I've also like I'm also like care a lot about politics, and one really cool thing I got to do was I helped help people register to vote, and we actually did an event with John Legend because he's an alumni of the University of Pennsylvania. So I got to meet him. I like touched on everything. I was like, "Where's Chrissy?" But it was just a really cool event. And I've also gone to conferences for the Ivy League first generation low income students, and I feel like that's like been really empowering, like getting to see people like from my background, like seeing like how we came to be and how we can like all support each other. So I mean, anytime like Mr. Canning like asks me for help, like for Upper Bound, like I'm always more than happy, because like I think Upper Bound is like such a great program, and I think like anyone who's in it is like really lucky, because you know, like I think like it's a federally funded program, and there's like been a lot of like drama, like, you know, like Trump administration trying to cut like some of the funding and everything, but I am really like supportive of the program, and just like everyone in it, like I think, you know, I want to support it any way I can. So that's just like a brief introduction about me. I don't want to like take up the whole time just talking about me though.
Well, I will say, can you talk before I even let them start asking questions? And I know some of them have several. Can you tell them a little bit more about the fly-in programs? You kind of mentioned it. You didn't say a lot about them. And then can you also talk to them about your most recent accomplishment? I kind of said it to some of them that you were just selected as a Fulbright scholar. But you know, talk more about it than I can. Yeah, Mike Ellison nodded. He want to hear about it.
Also, if you like have any questions, like feel free to ask or like type in the chat if you don't want to forget. But let's see. Your first question was about fly-in programs. So when I was a junior, like junior, senior year, I was like thinking about like which colleges I want to go to, and I knew like Georgia wasn't it for me. So I was like searching and finding like these programs like Penn. I did a program called PEEP. I was so happy to like compile a document like in case like you can't write all this down, but I did PEEP. UCLA like can fly you out. UVA was like offering Haverford. I like even know even like more. There's also a Columbia one. Basically, these programs are kind of in existence to help like minority students, you know, come to these universities that wouldn't otherwise, because there's some kids out there who have parents who will literally like take a vacation just to like drive them around to colleges, you know. And like Upward Bound like is a good program because like they take you to different colleges, but there's like these schools that have millions and billions of dollars, you know, like they set aside some money to really put together a program of like why they want more diverse students. I think this is like really important because, you know, a lot of us aren't represented in these like really elite colleges. So it's like basically like all taken care of for you. Like they buy your plane, they like let you like dorm with maybe like a currently like a student there. So I can definitely like send a link to that if anyone wants it.
And I
was like really fortunate because I still like remember too, like when I was applying for the program, I did a recommendation, and when I asked my teacher, he was just like, "Oh, Tom, like this is an Ivy League school. Like, are you sure?" Like, just like warning me even, like, you know, these schools are really like tough to get into. Like, so, and because like we never had like, you know, a lot of students who like ever even dreamed about applying to these schools, I was like a little worried, but I'm really glad like I took the risk, you know, like I like took the plunge to like even apply and like put myself out there, because if it wasn't for these flying programs, like I wouldn't be able to see myself in these schools. So that's my flying program experience. I even before college, I knew I cared about like something about like international human rights. I care a lot about education, so I was always like trying to figure out like where I want to go in life. So I was like really lucky to I just like got accepted into the Fulbright Scholar program, and that program is basically like funded by the U.S. Congress, where a lot of like American scholars like go to different countries. This can be like for furthering their education or for teaching. For me, I'm teaching. Well, I'm also like haven't accepted it yet. I don't know. I didn't tell Mr. Kenny this, but I haven't accepted it yet because with coronavirus, like I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're traveling. So like this is like up in the works. But I'm really proud to like get it, because another thing like my school literally has a program like dedicated to helping students apply to these like competitive programs, and they were kind of telling me like, oh, you need 3 recommendations, so you should like ask your like professors or like your like, you know, people at Penn. And for me, I was like, who can like actually talk about my character and like advocate for me? So actually I had Mr. Kenny write a recommendation for me. And I think like one of my advisors was like, oh, like kind of like warning me like I should have like professors or like, you know, college people. But for me, I was like, I mean, true, but I think like I really trust Mr. Kenny like with my recommendation, because I think he like knows even more about my character in some aspects than like these college professors do.
I have no problem with you being safe. So yes, I understand not accepting immediately because of coronavirus. It is scary. And I'm just gonna say, and then y'all really can start asking questions in the chat. I remember time going on some of these school visits and still kind of having different ideas about what school she wanted to attend. And I remember time going to Penn and meeting like a group of students there, or going to, or like seeing one of the clubs I think that you were really interested in, and that being a real like determining factor on what kind of made Ton really like Penn, like the campus of Penn. And so, you know, I know Danae said this earlier when we talked to her last week, but, you know, visiting some of these campuses, if you get the opportunity, and really seeing what fits you is important. And so I just want to throw that out there. Y'all, I know y'all not getting scared because I've been talking so highly about Ton for the last 2 weeks. So y'all can ask questions. We've been we've been doing a couple of these. I know some of y'all have questions.
I got a question. I'm Hirsch, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm from Jonesboro. I was. Oh, okay, it's kind of complicated. I'm in South Carolina now. I went to Jonesboro first 2 years. And my question is, you talked about with the recommendations for programs that you were applying for as a college student. Do you have any tips for maintaining like good relationships with your professors? Because like you said, you asked Mr. Kenny for a recommendation, and did you ask for professors for a recommendation?
Yeah, I did. I think like my advice for recommendation is like come to someone. Okay, first of all, it takes a lot of work. Like you probably should at least have like a decent relationship with them. Like don't ask a teacher that like, doesn't like you. Like that's just not a good idea.
Right.
I think like you should come to them like very humble, like not like I need you to do this for me. You know, like I need it by tomorrow. You should just come with it like aspect of like I'm really excited about this opportunity, and you know I really need someone to like advocate for me. So if you frame it as like you're helping me, like you're doing me like a huge favor, and I'm like so appreciative of that, I think like people are really willing to help you. I've never had like someone turn me down for recommendation, you know. I think as long as like, you don't tell them like I need it by tomorrow, because that's just a little weird, you know. You should give them like at least a week in advance. But I think if you just like come to them with a more like understanding, and also like have your options out, don't like pin it on one person, like have a list of people you trust. So that's my advice for recommendations. Does that answer your question?
Well, kind of. So what I was going for as in like how do you stand out in a class full of maybe 50 students, and how do you ensure that you have a good relationship with that professor?
I see what you mean. I think definitely going to office hours, and like it, like I don't like in college I don't think it's enough just to like in college everyone is like smart, like it's a very humbling like experience. Like everyone there, you have to think about it, like you all applied to this college, so you're all either like on the same level, if not like there are people smarter than you, so you have to like kind of also don't think of it as like sucking up to a professor. Like you're not doing that. It's just really like trying to build a relationship with them, like show that you're more than just like a name on their roster, you know, like showing them like whether it be like asking them about their interests, or like telling them why you're taking their class, and like why you're so excited to like take what they're teaching you beyond. I think that really makes you stand out. So yeah, but professors are very different from high school teachers, but at the same time, like they're still human, like they still like it's not like that different at the same time.
And I see a lot of questions are rolling in now, and I'm sure you can see the chat as well. But the first one was just, did you experience a culture shock when you got to Penn?
Oh, for sure. Like when I tell you people have money, like they have like I'm not talking about like they have some nice sneakers. Like it's like they have like vacation homes, or like Joe Biden's like grandchildren go to Penn. Donald Trump's kids like went to Penn. You know, it's like really, really difficult to see like how people have led such different lives. But also for me, it's like empowering. Like we're all like in the same place now. So I definitely think like my warning about striving for these like colleges is, you know, it is a culture shock. I don't even think it's just like at Penn though. It's at any university. Like you see how different people are. And I personally like it. Like I like meeting people from different places, like different states, different countries. Like I love seeing that, but it definitely is like a culture shock because you realize like how big the world is. I hope that answers the question.
And so next question that I see is just how did you kind of narrow down what you wanted to pursue as a career? Because we have some people that are questioning. They're young, obviously, still in high school.
Yep.
I tell them all the time, you do not have to have that answer when you're 16, but they're asking you, how have you kind of narrowed down what it is that you
Yeah, I think my advice, and this is also like advice I've gotten from people who are like older than me, like they're like in their 30s. The real answer is like a lot of people don't know, and they're just like really making it till they like they're just like go with the flow, like trying to figure out what they like, what they don't. And I think that's been good advice for me, rather than like people who are like, you need your 10-year plan and you need to like stick to it. I don't think that's very helpful, because that's so much pressure like on someone who's like a teenager. Like you don't know what you're gonna be like in like the next year, let alone like what career you want for the rest of your life. So I feel like it's better to just have like even like as basic as like a pros and cons list of like what am I good at and what am I not good at, and don't focus too much on the cons. Like don't like cut yourself out from like, oh, I'm not good at math, I can't do this, all this. It's more like focus on what you are good at and what you like, so that you can like explore those options more. And for me, like I'm gonna be honest, like I switched, like I came in very like pre-med. Like I was going to college like pre-med. I'm definitely not pre-med now, like if you're wondering that. But I think like a lot of people like just need time. Like you don't know yourself right now. You might think you do, but like 16, 17-year-old me, like that's a different person. So I just think like you need time to like figure out what you're good at, and like what you actually care about. So and that's like more than just like taking classes. Like for me, like I figured out I was pre-med when like for me I realized I cared more about politics than I had originally thought when like Trump got elected. And I was like thinking about all of this, and like or like when coronavirus hit, like I was thinking more about like other social determinants of health, like how are like even more than just like taking care of people, like how are people going crazy, like buying toilet paper, like there's like a lot of like other things that I care about. And I wouldn't have realized this if I just like was so narrow-minded and like stuck to one path. So I think it just really like you need to like figure out what you're good at. Talk to people in those positions. Like if you ever like want like a certain like career, like find those people, like ask them, just ask them like, what do you do like on a daily level, on a daily basis, because sometimes you have this idea of like what a job is, but you don't actually know. Like you're just reading maybe like on your phone like what it is, or like you're looking at the salary, which is like not a good idea, by the way. Like don't choose a job based on like the money, because that might not even be accurate, so talk to someone who's like actually in a job, like see what they had to do to get there. And I feel like that's more helpful than just like picking something and rolling with it.
That's good. That's good stuff. I see that Mike Ellison asked, and Mike Ellison, I'm just telling you, Ton, Mike Ellison is a Posse scholar. He'll be attending Bard College in New York next year. But he just asked, what was the Fulbright application process like?
Yeah, I think at first it was daunting, because so I have some friends who like did Fulbright and they're just like amazing. Like one person I know like is doing like Harvard Med and law, and like they did Fulbright. So I was like kind of unfair like comparing myself to these like really insane people. So I think that for me, like I think you should always approach applications like, like there's a chance I might get this and there's a chance I might not. Like, do I care enough to like put myself out there? And for me, like I was willing to like reach out to people to like do recommendations for me. I was willing to you have to do like a personal statement and a like a statement, like, you have to do essays basically for them to explain why you're interested and why you're qualified. And I think for me, like it was very interesting to like have to write it all out. And also like really show like why I'm passionate about this. So I think it was like good. I was like a little worried I wouldn't get it, but I'm like really glad I like took the risk. And I guess like that's just my advice in general for like any application.
That answer your question, Mike Ellison? All right, okay. So someone asked, how supportive were your parents on you going out of state time? Were they excited about it? Were they happy?
Oh, they were not happy. I mean, like, I get, like, there's, like, a certain level of, like, you have, like, when you're, like, if you're going to college, like, this is, like, really when you start your life, you know? But there's also, like, this aspect of you want to care for your parents and, like, respect their wishes. But it's just hard because, like, my parents, like, they're Vietnamese, they're immigrants, you know, like, they're happy I got into a lot of colleges, but they don't know what the Ivy League is. Like, they did not know. I know, like, a lot of people still don't know what my school is. I had to explain it to them, like, Mom, like, do you know what the $100 bill is? She's like, yeah, I know the $100 bill. I was like, you know that man on it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, Benjamin Franklin. He, like, made my school. And she's like, oh, okay. Like I had to, like, literally explain to her why, like, I was really happy about this opportunity, because for them, like, they didn't really know. Like, they knew, like, Clayton State was, like, a school, like, down the street, and they knew, like Emory was a good school, so they, like, assumed, like, I wanted to go to Emory. They thought, like, Emory was, like, the best school in the world. So for them, like, it was really hard to tell them, like, that I wanted to go, like, out of state, and also to explain why, because they didn't really understand what these schools were. So I think it's just it's definitely hard to, like, go for what you want, and also, like, still try to be a good, you know, like, a good child to your parents. But at the same time, like, you have to, like, they have to let you go, and they have to, like, support you to some extent. So I know, like, they are still a bit, like, sad that I didn't stay in state, but at the end of the day, like, I think I explained why I did.
Yeah, you know what, and so Lillian, one of our younger, well, Indy too, but one of our young scholars here, Lillian, asked, one, how have you been able to find so many different programs that you are in, and then two, follow up, same person, in your experience, do you think it's more difficult for minorities and people of color to be accepted into some of these programs?
Yeah, I think I remember for me, like, I was also always just, like, searching, you know, like, like, once I found one thing, it, like, opened the gates, you know, like once I just found that one thing, and I'm very lucky to, like, find whatever it was that, like, started me on it. I just, like, kept getting connected. I think it was actually maybe Questbridge. Like, I was a Questbridge college prep scholar, and you had to apply for that, like, as a junior. And once you're in that, like, they had us, like, on an email thread, so they would, like, send us opportunities. But if you're not lucky enough to, like, be in a program like that, it is, like, very hard, you know, to find these. But I think because, like, I was already, like, in the loop, like, I kept, like, getting opportunities, and I was, like, on the side, I was always searching, you know, I was, like, always making sure, like, I was, like, on top and, like, proactive on things. I remember, like, College Board at the time, like, was a useful site. College Confidential is kind of toxic, so I don't know if I would recommend that. But I remember, like, there are a lot of, like, forums and stuff that, like, people were talking. I know some people use Reddit, so if you want, like, to look at that, but maybe, like, Facebook groups. But there are people out there who, like, are really supportive, and they will, like, help you get connected to these. And next question, yeah, I definitely think it's just, like, in general, like, harder for minorities to, like, get involved in things unless there's programs, like, specifically targeted for them, which more universities are doing, and I'm appreciative of that. But I still think, like, it is hard, and, you know, these are, like, things that, like, none of us can control, like, these, like, institutional racism, like, structural inequalities, like, I don't even know what to do about it. But I think, like, universities are starting to realize more than ever that they can't just keep accepting, like, the same people, or, like, same types of people from the same types of background. So I do think I, like, have hope that even though it is difficult, like, things are getting better, and you will find, like, mentors or, like, people who will, like, advocate for you. So yeah, definitely, like, when you're search for, like, underrepresented groups, because, like, that's, like, their buzzword, you know, like, underrepresented, low income, like, non-traditional, like, these words, like, they use that in their program description. So just make sure you're looking out for that. Um, should I move on? Next
Oh yeah,
question.
you can ask. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna graduate this year, like like Lily May, but I don't have a ceremony, so kind of salty. But I'm studying. It's a major called PPE, which is philosophy, politics, and economics. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's just one major. Like people think I study 3 different things. It's just one major. I have a minor like in business, which is consumer psychology, and what I'm planning on doing after graduation? That is a good question. Because right now, like Fulbright is definitely like an option. I'm a bit worried because traveling. I don't know if that's gonna like I would be going to Indonesia, and I just like don't know what's gonna happen. So now like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm scrambling. Like I've been interviewing with a lot of companies. So like I have my fingers crossed, but I'm gonna see like this is like kind of my mindset. Like you never get these like concrete answers. Like you never get like a clear path of like what your life is gonna be. So definitely like I know like for all the seniors here, like don't think that like what you're gonna do next is like means like the rest of your life is like gonna be laid out for you. Um but yeah. So I'll see. I'll update Mr. Kenny.
Yeah, no, that sucks, man. Like I know you had a plan, and then coronavirus kind of killed your plan, and
It's not canceled. It's not canceled. It's just like we'll see.
it's just you
So,
and him and concern, and so
and it's just a
like,
really bad job market right now. But I've been interviewing at really cool companies, so like I'm hopeful.
that's what's up. I see a question. Christy had a question first, and then Lillian. I'm just gonna tell you because they've asked this question of a lot of people. That what are your stats question is what were your test scores? What was your GPA when you graduated high school? I'm just telling you because somebody was like, "What stats?" So I'm just telling you. But the next question that came up was just, how did you stop comparing yourself to other people while you were applying for scholarships and applying for colleges even?
Well, I guess I'm gonna tie those questions together. You have to not compare yourself with stats. Like you cannot reduce yourself to a number. I know like this is this is hard because like I did it when I was in high school. Like I know how it feels. Like you're probably like on those like sites. I know what they are. Like they're like put in your ACT, put in your GPA, which college will you go to? Like that's like BuzzFeed telling you what to go to. Like that's not realistic, Like you have to like take those things with a grain of salt because like I mean for sure like you can't apply to like certain schools if you like are like standard deviations away from their average. You do have to be realistic, but you can't like boil it down to like a number. Like I'm like 1 point away from like be like 1 point away from like this person. So I just think when I'm applying to scholarships or schools in general, I think you have to like really believe in yourself more. Otherwise, you're gonna have this like negative mindset like coming in. You're gonna like you're almost gonna feel like you're just like begging your way into college. Like that's not the way you should approach it. You should like really believe in yourself, and like that's how like the best essays come out when you like really believe in yourself and you're not just like faking it. But if like I guess I like wonder if I should answer this last question because like I've like told high schoolers before I get like a mixed review, so I'm not sure. Mr. Kenny, what do you how that works?
Look, no, let me say this: give them something to shoot for, but it's okay because some of them, got 4.3s and stuff, and a couple of them, that's what they're headed for. There are 2 people on this call right now that when I did their interviews for Upward Bound, one of them told me I'm gonna graduate with a 4.4 because I want to be the valedictorian, and then another one told me, what did they say? I'm gonna graduate with a 4.41. That's what somebody told me. Those 2 people are on this call right now. So say your numbers. Don't worry about it. They're not scared.
I don't think you should worry about your numbers, but I know like in high school, like it's easy to just worry about that. But I'm telling you, like in college, like, people do not care. Like I do not have any of my friends asking me for my ACT. Like no one cares about that in college. Or if they do, like I don't know, they have their priorities whack, So I mean, I would like give a range. Like I'll tell you that I definitely had like above a 4.0 and I had above a 30. And I do think like the really competitive schools like do kind of look for that. But I won't say like I won't say that I had like a 5.0, I had a 36, you know. But I had like very like competitive scores. And if someone like is really pressed for this and they text you as a candidate, like, fine, I'll tell them. Like you can let them know. But I don't want people to like think that like you have to have a certain number.
Oh, you're right. It's not that important, but they know it was high because you was the valedictorian, so they know it was up there.
Yeah. If someone's really pressed, like they can text you, and I'll text you.
How did your school deal with the coronavirus? Like, when did they give you guys notice? Did they kick everybody out? Did they like what was the time frame like for the University of Penn?
Yeah, I think oh my gosh. So it started, I think the first school was Harvard to like just kick people out. Like they really just like bye, like leave. Like we don't want to, like they have a liability issue, so they don't want anyone getting coronavirus and like coming, you know, like spreading it on their campus. So basically my school, like everything is online. Like I have online school too. I was just like watching my lecture earlier. It's definitely really weird because I'm a senior and this was supposed to be like my best time in college, like just like celebrating things with friends and like getting my cap and gown, but like that's all gone. So I'm a little sad about it, like working this long only for it to kind of be online school. But I understand like everyone's like in the same situation. So I do find like the silver lining is that people, like everyone's in it together, you know, basically. Like, you know, like I know like Jonesboro is like online too, I think. Like, you know, like everywhere is online. So we're
all of Clayton County, all of Georgia. And we have several seniors on the call that are feeling your pain on that one because
yeah, it's hard. Like I can't stay motivated. Like some of my professors are bored in person. Like they're not gonna be better online. So it's definitely a weird time. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next question. How did you adjust to somewhere new? I think so. I'm in Philly, and I think like Philly. I've already been to Philly, you know, so it wasn't like totally new. It was more just like new experience of like living on your own. You know, like you don't have people around you, like you don't have your family to like remind you, or like, you know, you have to be responsible for yourself. So I think it's more like you have to get ready to learn to live for yourself. And that means like being more responsible, like learning to study. Like I actually had to learn to study because in high school I low-key never studied. So I feel like it was such a new experience for me. But I think over time, like you get adjusted. I found like my mentors, like I found like help. I was always like reaching out. Like I think like that's like my big advice. If you like big key takeaway, like always ask for help, not in a way that's like demanding someone do something for you, but just like advocating for yourself and like showing like how you can like really like reach your potential if you just like have that extra support. But yeah, I love traveling. Like something else I got to do that's really cool, I got to intern abroad in China and Japan, like in the summers. So I think like traveling is definitely like, it's cool for me. Definitely not now though, like don't travel anywhere now, but I think like you will definitely get adjusted. I trust like everyone can get adjusted. It just takes time and patience. Favorite thing about my school, other than the people can read. That's
she's like, those were her top two answers, Hirsch.
Yeah, they really took it away from me because they probably didn't want like the sappy answer. I'm like, oh,
no, that's the most generic answer I always get, and I don't want that.
So if you want to think about like the school in general, like I think it's probably like the opportunities, you know, that's like what I was kind of going for. Like that's the kind of college I want, like a college that has opportunities. Like I'm not just here to just get like a paper degree. For me, I don't think that that's what college is about. I think college is about like getting connected to opportunities that you wouldn't get like in high school. Otherwise, like why are you signing up for like just more school? you know, like
Right.
it's good to like get more school. Like I'm definitely learning more stuff, but you don't want to like just learn like all day every day. You want to like get connected to like cool, exciting things. So I feel like it's definitely the opportunities, like the opportunities I've told, like getting to intern abroad, you know, that was like through my school, like helping me, giving me support, giving me money, like they have money. So definitely like taking advantage of like all the resources that they have and getting them to like open doors for me is kind of my favorite thing, other than the people. Should I move on or? Okay. Ooh, motivated through high school. I think I was motivated through high school because I always had a bigger goal in mind. And I think that like that's what gets people going, like having goals. You know, it's not even just like oh, my goal is to graduate, like, which is a good goal, you know, you should graduate. But it's like having bigger goals, like than like something that involves other people, you know, like for me, like I wanted to get to a place where I could help other people. And I feel like that's like something that's like still motivating me. Like, you know, if I'm not like doing it, if I can't be motivated for myself, then I can be motivated for other people. Like whether that be like making family proud or like whether it means like getting to go to new places and meet more people or getting to like get a job where I can like actually help like, you know, like communities. I really think that that's the most motivating thing for me. Ooh, Mr. K, should I answer the next question? Do you guys talk about politics?
Sure. Why not? And I'm sure you have great opinions on it. I mean, listen, who's in the White House is who's in the White House. You already gave him credit for motivating you to get more interested into politics for, you know, opposite reasons. But yeah, why not? Why not?
I'll like try to briefly answer it so that like, you know, I keep a like somewhat objective opinion. But so like some of the people like to make fun of me for like Trump went to my school. He studied business at Wharton. I met Joe Biden. Like I actually met Joe Biden like my sophomore year. He is technically a professor here, but he never teaches. Like he's never taught classes, just like for show. But he does research, I think. So he was like here for an event and I got to meet him. I like have a picture with him and everything. Elizabeth Warren also taught at Penn and the law school. So yeah, like there's like a lot of like opinions at my school, but overall people do not support Trump. And I think I saw like Bernie Sanders just dropped out today. So, you know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And I'm interested to see what's going on. But I really think people are just like now, like, who's going to beat Trump? Like, it's really come down to that. So, but like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know who's going to win. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough out there. I'm sorry, Jordan. We have a huge Bernie Sanders guy on the call.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, it feels bad, Jordan. It feels bad.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I feel like it's like a sport.
My career is like over. Like at this point, it's just Bernie's down. Joe Biden's gonna win, but I don't like Joe. So.
You don't know that. You don't know that. See, that's the thing. No one knows.
Hey.
But I'm sorry, Jordan. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh, this is a real one though. So how did you build your study skills? Right, since you said it, because Hirsch asked the question, but I know Hirsch isn't the only person on the call with that problem. I know we have a lot of really smart people in Upward Bound that sometimes get by with minimal effort. And so, what was the process like for you when you really got to school and said, "Oh my gosh, this isn't Jonesboro, this isn't Clayton State." You know, because you were doing Roman, right? So this isn't Jonesboro, this isn't Clayton State. Oh, you didn't you didn't. You just did AP stuff. Okay. And so yeah, how did you, when you got to Penn, what was the okay? Let me get it right now.
Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, so to give background, like, I mean, in high school, like, I studied for APs for sure, you know, like, because, like, I was an AP scholar, and I feel like that was just because I always crammed, and I realized, like, that method was not it, like, it was not it in college, like, maybe it worked, like, in high school, but it definitely did not work, like, in college, and that's because people, like, have learned to study, and I feel like it's a good skill to have. Like for me, um I like care a lot about like the space, you know, like I need to like be mentally prepared to study. I realize like that's actually important because, you know, like when you first get to college, people like to like joke like, oh, now we're in college, we could stay up till like 3 a.m. and like cram all night, you know, and it took me to like unlearn the ways I've been learning, you know, like you shouldn't just cram. And it's hard because like I know like cramming like feels like, oh yes, I learned everything like in a day, you know, like low effort. But in college, like that's just not it. Like you don't want to flex on people by like not studying. You're just gonna play yourself like that. So I had to learn to like like set time, you know, like I had to like schedule everything out. And I mean like sometimes like I had to schedule like lunch, dinner, like laundry, you know, so that I was like doing those things, so that I was like, you know, functioning, and then I had the time to study. So I kind of allocate, this is more applicable to college, but like I had to allocate like where I studied best. Like if I was like doing my readings, I would go to the library. I don't know, because there's like books around me. If I was doing like a group project, then I would go to like a coffee shop or like a lounge where I could talk to people. If I was like studying for a test, like, you know, I had to find like a really, really quiet place. So I feel like getting into the right environment and getting into the right mindset so that you're not just like studying for the sake of studying. Because if you're just like reading things and like you're not taking anything out of it, it's just like, why even bother? You know, like if you're just doing like reading, then checking your phone, then like reading, then checking your phone, like it's not like as effective. I also think like taking breaks is good, and having like a checklist. Like break up your goals into smaller goals. Like if your goal is like study for a test, don't just say like you're studying for a test. It's like have like a practice test that you're gonna do, or like have like a concept that you don't understand. So like break it up into like I have a test, that's my big goal to like pass the test. And then my smaller goals is to like do one practice test and then like relearn this one that I messed up on last time. So I definitely think like I had to learn to study.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So we are at 4:48. We've had time for, you know, a nice little collection of time. Do we have any other pressing questions that somebody is gonna kick themselves if we hang up and they don't ask? I'm just curious. Any pressing questions?
Yeah, ask questions.
Not really. Oh, okay. All right. So
Oh right, it just came to me. Sorry, Mr. Kenny.
I knew it was gonna happen. That's why I asked. I knew.
So you said you got into Columbia, and other top schools. What made the distinction between UPenn and those other elite schools? Why did you choose UPenn?
I think it was, so I got to like actually visit Penn, and I didn't visit all the schools. And I like talked to a lot of people about it. Like I was like asking people's advice, like talking to people who actually go there. And I just, for me, like Columbia had a core curriculum that I was like, oh, I'm not a big fan. And it was also like, you know, like it was very, very like, they're both great schools. Like I was like so lucky to even like be choosing between them. But after like talking to people who like went to the schools and like seeing which one is like a good social fit, like that's also like you have to think about it, like not just in which one is ranked higher. You have to think about like this is your next home for the next 4 years. Like which place can you actually like stand living for the next 4 years? So I think sometimes like I think about it like, oh yeah, I could have gone to Columbia. Like it's also a great school, but you know, like it's in a really big city like New York. Ooh, New
Right.
York.
Yeah.
Good. So, and I like at Penn, like I could easily go to New York. Like it's like a 2-hour bus, or I could go to DC. Like I could literally just take a bus like up or down. So yeah, for me, like I thought about it a lot, talked to a lot of people.
And that next home thing is a real thing. Like actually living somewhere and actually being somewhere. A lot of people struggle in college, not because they can't handle the college work, but because they can't handle the transition. Like because they, never feel like they're at home, because they don't have, good friendships, relationships, good support system in this new place. And so it is really kind of important to figure out where you can stand living and being, as y'all make some of these decisions. You say hello.
Hi.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, we're gonna let Ton go. Thank you so much, Ton, for giving us some time today.
I want to say hi to Ton. This is Mrs. Ward. Thank you, Ton.
Hello. I miss you guys.
We're really proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
I was too. So yeah. I'll tell Miss I'll tell Miss Kyle to say hello. I said, I'll tell Miss Kyle to say hello too, Ton.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, if anyone like has like lingering questions, if they want to like email or text me, like I'm always down. So just let me know.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yes, you're getting several thank yous over in the chat. I think those are for you, not for me. I would assume they're for you, not for me.
I need to everyone.
But thank you so much, Ton. I miss you and I love you, and be safe and continue to, kill it. And let me know what you decide whenever everything slows down. Yeah. I know you will. I don't have to say that, but I'm just telling you, make sure you do.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Hey guys, it's good to see some of y'all. Anaya, that's a very very decorated picture you have there. There's a lot of flowers there on your face. Hey.
Am I getting up for?
What happened?
Really, you gotta take a nap now? Now, Clayton, is the best time for you to take a nap.
Oh, I should have took you off mute, huh?
Yeah, you stink.
Hey, Alicia. Christy, good job asking questions. Hey, Ashara and Emmanuel. Ashanti, y'all all right?
Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm doing good. I woke up not too long ago.
Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, just.
Who is that voice?
Hey, Mr. Ken.
Hey, who is that?
Ania.
Hey, Ania.
Hey.
It's good to see you. Sorta.
Me too.
Sorta see you. Really, your face. Y'all doing all right though?
Yeah.
Annie,
It's boring.
Annie, you was quiet today, Annie. Oh, which Annie is that? Is that Win or Bo? Nope, never mind. Guess not. It's neither one. Okay. All right. Well, anybody got anything else they want to talk about, say, or anything? No. How everybody work going? Y'all still got work to do?
I got dual enrollment stuff.
Yeah. Online school sucks.
It really does.
Online is easy.
It sucks. It's just so repetitive.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
It's hard. They just said it sucks. It can be both.
Yeah, it's just book work.
And not be hard.
I feel like I get more stuff done. And
for me, it's like self-teaching because the teacher really doesn't. There's no teacher to talk to you or talk you through the stuff. So it's just me reading a book and taking notes.
Yeah, it's essentially just interpretation with the text.
Hey, so you haven't learned anything, Ashara? Just not here in class, huh? Be like that. I'm sorry that's your experience right now. Who is doing Morse code? Who is that? No, nobody's doing Morse code. Okay, sounds like it. Good stuff. Hey, well, nobody else. All hearts and minds are clear. We'll let y'all go today. I ain't even gonna do win, lose, or draw.
That's unfortunate.
I know, right? Win, lose, or draw. I don't think, but see, today we backwards today. Unlike yesterday, we don't have any. It's no Clayton kids on except for Annie and Emmanuel. Oh, never mind. Ashar
and me.
Yeah, y'all so quiet. I forgot y'all was there. Oh, hey Jordan. My bad.
Hey, Mr. Kenny.
I guess it is about
You
Egypt.
just completely forgot about me.
I just forgot about like half.
I'm dead.
And me
A lot
too.
of Clayton kids here.
It's so many Clayton kids. I said it's none, and it's like 8 of y'all. Hey, y'all might have us outnumbered. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's about even actually. Yeah, it's about even. That's interesting.
So like, do we have any
round.
future scholars?
You say what?
What other like future Zoom calls do you have planned? Like from other schools?
Okay, so none of these are in stone yet. Well, one. We
Right.
were supposed to do win, lose, or draw on Friday. I need to figure out if we really gonna do that. That's one. Next week, the plan is to do Georgia State one day with a couple of different people. So I've had a lot of people hit me up talking about doing one for Savannah State. And so we got like 3 people. I have a group of people still that want to do one for UGA, and so I need to actually just put it on the books and find a time that works for them. And then Jared and Michaela will most likely do a Georgia Tech talk, but I haven't scheduled that one either. So yeah, we got a couple of these coming up. We haven't, none of them are on the books yet though.
Are there any contacts in Stanford?
You know what? I don't have Upward Bound contacts in Stanford, but I probably have some people that I could just get to talk to. Or at least, if not Stanford, at least like University of California. I got a couple of University of California folks that I know I can talk to you. Or maybe talk to all of y'all. We just got to schedule it.
Yeah.
And then at some point, we also said that we're going to start doing these career-wise. And so I got a couple of friends that work at Google. I got a couple of, we know collectively we got a couple of doctorate, medical professional people. We got a couple of engineering people. So at some point, we also got to schedule those. We also have quite a few outbound people that are out of college, graduates, and working in careers now that have told me they want to, do these talks. And so, that's just another thing that we got to kind of put on the schedule and figure out when we're going to do. But we've had some people we actually have even had some upward bound people that never finished college. They went to college, dropped out of college, and are working now, and have still said that they want to come and talk to y'all about, some of their experience and what they've been through and what they've done. And I'm just one of those people that feel like all stories are valuable, right? Because you can learn something from anybody. So, we got to figure out how we're going to put all those together. We have quite a few people at Columbia State, so we might get Columbia State to do a call. We have quite a few people at West Georgia. I've been trying to get in touch with Obi to do a talk about John Hopkins.
Hopkins, yeah.
She's mad at me right now, so we'll work on it some more. It's okay. And so there are other schools.
Brush it off.
I do. It's okay. It's a, if overbound kids never get mad at me, then I probably didn't do something right. So it's okay. Like, it's okay. At some point, all of y'all will be upset with me, and then y'all will, love me again. Hopefully, one day in the future. It's a big cycle. Okay. Yeah, and so yes, I will work on some West Coast people, some Stanford types. I'm gonna reach out to some people. I see Vivian also wants to get some Stanford love. Vivian, did you?
Yeah, I was asking for
Did
Vivian.
you only ask about Stanford because her said it?
No, I said Stanford after she typed it in.
Oh, okay.
No, I was asked because you were looking down, so I was like, let me just go ahead and say it for Vivian.
I was just making sure because sometimes Vivian do that.
Thank you.
And Vivian won't cut her camera on, so I'm gonna bother her.
I'm still not putting it on.
Come on.
That's cool.
No, I'm good.
Oh, I got a quick question. Did Lillian draw that? What is that? A panda? Koala bear? A koala bear?
It's
No,
a panda.
from the internet.
Oh, it's from the internet.
You were trying to give her some props too. Look at that.
I'm trying to get to know some new folks, you know?
Right. Well, let's see. You have Shani over there too. That's Shani. Awesome. She goes to Riverdale. Jordan. Kenny. Vivian, obviously. Christy's pretty awesome.
Bro, whose headphones are those?
But I think
Right.
Christy, Annie, and Lillian might be the only two people. Maybe Amanda are new since you've been gone. Yeah, that's about it. All right. Either way, I love you all. I will see you soon. If I figure out and really put together this win, lose, or draw game for Friday, I'll make sure I send it out and let y'all know.
Okay.
If it's not Friday, though, it will be sometime soon. I do think it's going to be really entertaining when we do it. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you all.
Love you. Stay safe.
Yes, all of you. Stay safe.
Don't do nothing completely
Don't
crazy.
do nothing dumb. Like, stay safe for real.